Yay! I have connection today. For those of you who are joining me on Wednesday and I wasn't there, I legit could not get into Instagram Live. The whole world must have been going live at the same time. So it's nice to see your faces. Hopefully this is streaming okay. I'm just going to put up here live meds with Kat John. Post. Cool. Thanks for joining me, dudes. I'm just going to pin that so people who are joining in can see. So when my eyes are closed, they're not like, what the fuck are you doing? Hang on. Here. Cool. How are you, gang? Good morning. Please feel welcome to comment below on how you're feeling and what is going down in your world. What I wanted to share with you today in today's med and where I'm going to take this is a lot of people are asking me how I'm going. They're all, and I mean, like, yes, of course, my friends and family, but you guys, you legends out there, you're asking me, you're DMing me, how am I going? How am I coping? And, you know, I'm actually okay. I was talking to my mate, Trent, yesterday, and we were talking about how doing meditation and having meditation, you know, in your system for so many years. For me, it's been a decade. It's like having savings in the bank. No different to, you know, if you have like no money in the bank and when shit times happen, you're like, oh my fucking God, how am I going to survive? How am I going to pay rent? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Well, I'm talking about that is similar to meditation. When you do meditation or when you don't do meditation, you don't have tools in the bank. You don't have tools in the bank. And so when shit times go down globally, like what we're experiencing now, or even just very personally in your own life, you don't have many tools available to you. So the stress levels go up, the reaction goes up, the attachment to things gets tighter. And you realize, fuck me, I haven't got much in the bank. I haven't been banking my mental tools. So when people ask me how I am, I truly am generally okay. Because I've banked up a lot of hours. I've got a lot of savings in terms of my tools and meditation to feel pretty much okay. However, yesterday was I guess personally a difficult day, or I just felt it a little bit more when my auntie sent a message to all of our family saying that we weren't allowed to see my pop. And this is everyone, like my pop's sons, because he's at high risk and she's got diabetes. And the specialist saw my pop and just said, look, no one is to see grandpa or pop, what we call him, which was like a fuck, you know. I was already not seeing him because of what's going on. That was my choice. But to then hear we're not allowed to, it's kind of like when we were told we're not allowed to like go outside all the time, or we're not allowed to meet up with a whole bunch of friends. It was like, shit, that's very personal. That's a really personal, like, I can't see my pop, and my pop's over 90 and my nana just recently died. And that kind of was like, shit, that's reality. Also yesterday, Steve and I made the call and we sent out to all of our no longer wedding guests that we are cancelling our wedding this year in October, which we had planned for in Vanuatu. We had 80 legends that were coming to our wedding from Australia, from New Zealand, from Switzerland, from USA, all to come to celebrate our love. And we pressed the cancel button. So, you know, things like that, they're, you know, personal, I guess, shifts that I've got to deal with personally. But also too, in reality, I'm still okay. You know, I will miss that this year. We won't get to have our big group of mates together. Or I will miss going and seeing my pop and just talking about stuff. But we've got FaceTime and there's always a silver lining, right? So what I want to talk to you today, that's just my experience with a lot of people asking me how I am. I'm actually okay. Yes, I've got shit going down in my own life. But what I want to talk to you today about today is times like this expose what's going on up here, or what we have or haven't been doing up here, and how we are reacting and responding to our children, or to our partners, or to ourselves, or to the government, or to whatever it is when a government announcement comes out and we're yelling at the TV. Sometimes it's good to get that shit out. Sometimes it's good to get that anger out. But sitting in it and baking in it and baking your own fucking like pile of shit isn't going to change anything. So I want you to see this time as, if you have found this extremely difficult, then what I want you to imagine is that you don't have much in your bank account. You don't have much in your bank account, whether that is literally to do with finances, or whether that's to do with mental tools, or whether that's to do with persistence, or whether that's been to do with consistent, effective action. There's not enough that was in the bank, let's say for the last 6 months, or the last 12 months, or the last whatever. And times like this expose, fuck, I'm pretty fucking broke. I'm broke. I'm broke mentally, I'm broke spiritually, I'm broke emotionally, and so therefore you're not able to cope as well. So that's okay. Sometimes we got to like face reality and, face it head on and heart open and go, okay, cool. This has exposed me. This has revealed what have I been up to? What have I been letting go by the wayside? What have I been not doing? What have I said that I've been doing, but clearly I haven't been doing, because now I'm at a time where I'm really fucking reacting, or I really am in a financially poor state because my bank account, what I have been doing in terms of actions, hasn't been tended to. Your bank account hasn't been tended to. Meditation bank account hasn't been tended to. Your financial bank account hasn't been tended to. Your daily actions, your visions, your tuning in, your checking in hasn't been tended to. And for any of you who haven't listened to my podcast yet this week, I highly recommend it. This explains this in much more detail about how transformation is ugly, and how when we wake up, it's often when a wrecking ball comes into our fucking life and we're like, Jesus, I've built my life on very shit structures because now I'm suffering, now I'm stuck, and I need to fucking change. So this is what we're going to focus on today in meditation, how you can begin building your bank, your meditation bank, your mental tools bank, things that is going to serve you. And if you fucking like listen to anyone out there who's on the meditation mindfulness, I was listening to Deepak Chopra last night, I've read fucking articles everywhere. Everyone in this field, most people in this field are talking about the same fucking shit, right? The same message is like, excuse me, wake up, do the inner work, get some fucking points in your bank, so that when times like this, or times like in your fucking relationship, or times in wherever else in your life where that suck, you have way more ability to cope. You have way more ability to remain grounded. Yes, you might freak out. Yes, you might have a hissy fit. Normal and okay. But to stay there and to sit there and, as I said, bake in your own cake of shit, that's suffering, and that part's choice. That's suffering, and that part is choice. So let's go into meditation now. Are you going to go through this or grow through this? Amen. Perfect. And what I want to say just to that comment is, you are allowed to feel like fucking shit. You're allowed to feel like shit. You're allowed to feel victimized. You're allowed to feel like, fuck this. I fucking hate life. What's this world about? Like, what a shit world, or whatever. You're allowed to. But then once you've like allowed yourself a moment of just fucked offness, then that's when you want to shift. It's when you bathe or bake in the shit for too long, you become toxic. You become a toxic energy to be around. You speak toxic. You emanate toxic. You are toxic. You don't sleep well. You get headaches. You're an asshole to yourself, to others. You put out what you don't want. So that's the moment when you change. When you know you're about to suffer in your fucking jocks. You are beyond amazing. Thank you for you. Oh, thank you too. And the jacket. It's actually just from Cotton On. So they've got a few colours, and I got a few colours because I love the fur. The fake fur. Anyway, gang, let us go into meditation now. Let us go into meditation now so we can build up our stores. Build up our stores. Inner stores, mental stores. I'm so glad my live is working this morning. I was fucking annoyed on Wednesday. Did I let the annoyance happen for too long? No. I just did an IGTV. Anyway, closing down your eyes. Get yourself nice and comfy. And together, let's take a big breath in. And then out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. And then out. And just continue to breathe at a pace and rhythm that feels good for you. And as you sit here and meditate and tune in, I want you to be honest with yourself, very honest with yourself. And I want you to give an honest percentage out of 100 as to where your mental tools are at. An honest percentage where your mental tools are at. Mental tools being able to navigate your own mind. Mental tools being able to transform thought moment to moment. Mental tools being able to move beyond situations, challenging times, petty fights, and move beyond them with your mind. Mental tools being able to see the bigger picture, different perspectives, an honest percentage. And now knowing this number, there is now a gap to close. A gap to close. And so ask yourself, how can you begin closing the gap? To enrich your mental tools. What is being asked of you? Your inner guidance is asking you something to do, to practice, to implement, to close this gap. And just let that speak to you. And whatever your answer is, that is now for you to enact. You've been gifted with a little piece of gold that maybe somewhere in you knew, but you haven't prioritized it. Or maybe now it's time you do. Take a big breath in through your nose. Release it out. Big breath in. Release it out. Big breath in. And then out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you, gang, for joining me for Friday morning meds. I keep wanting to say Sunday meds, but it's Friday or whatever day. I keep wanting to say Sunday meds. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you got a lot out of this in how you can close the gap, in how you can start banking up your fucking bank account so you are mentally rich, that when shit goes down in your life, you are O-fucking-K. Because you have been doing the work. You have been showing up for yourself. It's so goddamn important. It's so important. It's not like maybe do it. It's like fucking do it. Fucking do it. Was I upset we had to cancel our wedding? Yeah, but also too, like, at the same time, Steve and I got out of it, like, we actually don't need a wedding. We don't need a wedding. We can celebrate with our mates. We can go to the fucking registry. Like, we actually realized, like, maybe we're cool without it. We are cool without it. And this is what happens when you really have your mental bank fucking full. It'll last you a lifetime and lifetimes more. Mentally rich. Mentally rich. Instead of chasing, I mean, look, it's okay to want to be financially wealthy, but mentally rich, you will attract in wealth anyway. That's another story. That's another meditation. Anyway, gang, thank you for joining me live. Please share this with your mates. I'm going to upload this to the YouTube channel. And I'll see you on Sunday morning. Love you, gang. Peace be with you.